You are.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For a start, Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion by my learned colleague, Honorable Mutuse. Most of the things, Mr. Speaker, have been said, but allow me to say a few things. Number one, allow me to borrow on the then Council of White House during the Clinton administration. He said, impeachment is not a remedy for private wrongs. It's a method for removing someone whose continued presence in office would cause danger to the nation. Mr. Speaker, my position is the continued stay in office of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is a threat to the nation of Kenya. I continue by saying this, Mr. Speaker. Between 1963, when we got independence, we had a vice president in the name of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. He never said, do not touch Luo Nyanza. During the President Moi's regime, we had George Saitoti. We had Musalia Mudavadi. He never said, do not touch Luya Nation. During the time of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, he never said, do not touch Ukambani. But we have a deputy president, Mr. Speaker, who is obsessed with a certain region in this country. Mr. Speaker, secondly, Mr. Speaker, much has been said by my learned colleagues in this house. But I want to borrow something, Mr. Speaker. Article 145 of the Constitution provides for reasons for impeachment of a deputy president and the president. The case of this during Sonko's impeachment, the Supreme Court laid certain guidelines and said that the question as to whether or not there is a violation of a constitution should be guided by certain principles. Number one, whether there is interference with the constitutional functions of the legislature and the judiciary. My submissions is that the utterances of the deputy president in relation to his cases in court is interference with the constitutional functions of the legislature and the judiciary. Another ground that has been given in determination as to whether or not there is a violation of the constitution is whether there is an abuse of the code of conduct. Mr. Speaker, my argument is the constant pronunciation by the deputy president that divides the country in terms of regions and tribe is an abuse of code of conduct and is a ground for impeachment. Another criteria given is the disregard and breach of fundamental rights of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. In Taveta, where I come from, there are two minority tribes. There is the Taveta tribe and there is the Pare tribe, with a minority tribes in Kenya. Article 56 of the Constitution says that the state should do everything within its means to ensure that marginalized tribes in Kenya are protected. Mr. Speaker, the pronouncement of the deputy president about a certain region without considering the Tavetas of Taveta or the Pares of Taveta is a violation of fundamental rights and freedom as guaranteed by Article 56 and is a ground for impeachment. Very lastly, Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. Even in Taveta, there are Kikuyus. So if we constantly obsessed of Mount Kenya, who will speak for the Kikuyus who live in Tavetas? And that is why I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, because of the obsession of Mount Kenya, because of obsession of a certain region, Rigathi Gachagua must go.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to start with there was a spat between the Pope and Napoleon.